All right, my friends, well, here we are in day 4 of this gratitude series. Thank you so much for being here and for having taken part in the flows the past few days. And I just wanted to remind you that in case you have missed one of the flows we did before, they're all still going to be live on my website and on YouTube from here on out. So you can always go back and catch up, or if you ever want to come back and do this series again, you are also more than welcome to do that. And you'll have all the links in your emails, but you can also find it on my website and on YouTube. So we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. And for today, I'd like you to start in child's pose. So go ahead and make your way there now and just find a space, make it feel nice and comfortable. The verses that we're using for our class today is Colossians 2, verses 6 and 7. And it says, "Therefore, as you received Christ Jesus the Lord, so walk in him, rooted and built up in him and established in the faith, just as you were taught, abounding in thanksgiving." And I love this verse, and if you've been, taking part in just anything that our brand has been doing, you know that my mom and I host some retreats called the Faithfully Rooted Retreats. And so for us, the concept of being rooted is really such a fundamental part of our faith, because if we are not connected to God, then we're missing out on the life that he's offering us, because just walking through the motions, living out a Christian life without having our roots deep into our faith and into his word and into the truth of God, then we're not really secured. We're not standing strong in anything. We're just moving through life. And so it's really important to us, and that's why we've created these retreats, to talk about being rooted. And then I love that at the very end of this verse it says, "Just as you were taught, abounding in thanksgiving." Because how amazing and important is that we would go through life abounding in thanksgiving. Sometimes in my classes I talk about the breath, and as you're inhaling, imagining that you're being filled up. And so then at the end of class I'll say, I pray that you would overflow with whatever it is that you're asking to be filled up by. And I think that concept of overflowing is similar to abounding in thanksgiving, and it just means that there is such an excess. And so for today, as we flow, I pray that with every inhale you would be filled up with thanksgiving, and that would be what moves you through the class today. And so as you're here in child's pose, just go ahead and take a few more deep breaths. We're really going to be taking that concept of rooting ourselves and carrying it through class in the postures that we do, but also just talking about how valuable it is to be rooted, not only in our faith, but in our relationships and in our community and in who we are. And I think we'll see that all of that in turn does come back to God. So again, holding here for just a few more breaths, and with every inhale, just asking to be filled up with thanksgiving. Take one last breath here. And then on an inhale, go ahead and rise up to tabletop. Hands come underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. And straight away, we'll start to move through cat-cow. So we inhale, chest comes up, gaze comes up, arching the back. And then exhale to round, chin to chest. And when you're ready, go ahead and come back to a nice neutral spine. Spread the fingers wide and press them into the floor. And then on an inhale, we'll let the left fingertips reach out in front of you. Right heel reaches back, holding here and balancing. And start taking note of the connections that you have with the ground. Feel the fingers of your right hand pressing into the floor. Feel your left leg strong, supporting your body as you reach. Make sure that you're pressing down into the ground so that we're not dropping and dumping towards the floor, but we're lifting up. Feel how the more you press down, the more you can lift up. And on an exhale, we'll go ahead and bring the hand and the knee down, and we'll switch sides. Again, spread the fingers wide, and then right fingertips come forward. Left leg reaches back this time. Holding here. Engage the core, and then press down into the mat. And exhale, everything comes down to the mat. Center your weight and then tuck your toes. Let your hips lift up to downward facing dog. Hips reaching up high. Maybe start to walk out through the feet. And then pause with the heels pressing down, hips lifting up. Nice deep breaths here. We're going to go ahead and move to Dolphin. So you can either lower to your forearms from here, or if you'd like, go ahead and let the knees come down to the mat. Drop to the forearms, spread those fingertips wide on the floor. And then again, we tuck the toes, hips lift up, so that we're coming back to downward facing dog with the lower body. Just now the forearms are on the floor rather than just the palms. And now from here, we really have to imagine that we're pressing into the mat and lifting up in the shoulders. Breathing deeply, feeling that connection between the fingers on the floor. The hips lifting up as the toes press down. And hold here. On an inhale, maybe the left heel reaches up. Maybe that shifts a bit more weight into the forearms, forcing you to press down more. And toes come down. Let's switch sides. Right heel comes up. Keep lifting in the shoulders, pressing down into the mat. Right toes come down. And all together we'll bend the knees. Rise back up to the palms and come back to downward facing dog. Press the heels down, lift the hips up. And as we flow today, I just really want you to be mindful of how every time we shift our weight a little bit between our hands and our feet, it changes the response in the rest of our body. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that our connections with the ground are so rooted and so strongly connected that even when we take one away, we still can stay balanced. So from here in downward facing dog, go ahead and let the left heel reach up towards the sky, coming to three-legged down dog. Keep your hips square and keep pressing your weight into your hands. Draw the ribs in. Exhale, the left heel comes down to the mat. And inhale, the right heel reaches up. Three-legged down dog on the opposite side. Again, making sure the weight is centered between both hands and between the hands and the feet. Exhale, the right toes come down. And we're going to take that again. This time the left heel reaches up. Left leg is up, right foot is planted. Option to maybe carry this over to side plank. So if you'd like, shift the weight forward, coming towards plank. Left foot is still up. Then the weight comes into the right hand. Left fingertips might reach up. Taking it from 4 connection points to 3, and now to 2. And the left hand comes down. Reach that left heel back up. Exhale, left foot comes down. And we switch sides. Right heel reaches up. Holding here for a moment, finding that connection. And then shifting the weight forward slightly. Maybe the right fingertips reach up as we come to side plank on the opposite side. And exhale, right hand comes down, right heel reaches up and back. Three-legged dog. Exhale the toes down to the mat. And then straight away, go ahead and walk the feet forward, coming to a forward fold. Good, let the knees bend, let the chest hang heavy down towards the mat. Arms nice and relaxed. Breathing deeply. Lift your toes up and then spread those toes wide and press them down into the mat. Feel the toes gripping onto the mat, lifting the arch of the foot. And then slowly from here, we'll go ahead and roll up. Rolling up to mountain. Inhale, the fingers reach up overhead. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. And we'll take a nice vinyasa flow. Inhaling to reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back to plank. Option to lower to a low plank. Up to upward facing dog. And hips up and back to down dog. Press the heels down. And then step to the top of the mat. Take a forward fold. And we'll inhale, rise back up to mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. And we'll take that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Remember, each time we inhale, we're focusing on inhaling thanksgiving or gratitude. Hands come down, we step back to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. Step to the top of your mat to take a forward fold. Inhale to mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. And we'll take that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back to plank. Option to lower. Lift the chest up. Exhale, hips up and back. And then again, we step to the top of the mat. Exhale to take the forward fold. And inhale to rise up to mountain. Exhale, the hands come down through heart center and we'll hold here. Nice deep breaths. And then while you're holding here, breathing, just start to play around with your balance a bit. So rocking forward, side to side, backwards. Feel free to test your limits a little bit, seeing how far you can move without falling. And just feel the way that your feet have to work through the floor and the way that the rest of your body responds to that. Everything working together to keep you in balance. Make sure your ribs are drawn in. And then when you're ready, slowly make your way back to a nice centered position, feeling the weight evenly placed between the feet. And then from here, we'll exhale, the hands open down to the sides. Inhale, the left knee starts to rise up, holding here as we balance. Don't worry if you fall, just make your way back into it. Working to get that left knee up nice and high so the thigh is parallel with the floor. Feeling the right foot working on the ground. Keep breathing. And then on an exhale, slowly start to bring the foot back behind you. Left toes reaching towards the back of the mat. Press the foot down, fingertips come up, we land in Crescent Lunge. Reaching up tall. Holding here, nice deep breaths. On an exhale, we let the left hand come down to the mat. Right fingertips reach up, coming to a runner's lunge, holding here. Your choice to either hold here, or if you'd like, we'll slowly shift the weight to the left foot. Right foot comes up off the floor and we land in side plank. Again, breathing deeply, pressing the hand into the floor as you reach up. And all together, we'll let the right hand come down to the mat as we meet in plank. From here, make your way to Dolphin. So either dropping the knees and coming to the forearms, or hips lift up, forearms come down to the mat. Breathing here. Inhale, the left heel comes up towards the sky. Exhale, the heel comes back down to the mat. Rise up to the hands, coming back to plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. Press the heels down. And then step to the top of the mat. Pausing for a moment in forward fold. Holding here. And then on an inhale, we'll rise up to mountain. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. And then open them to the sides, shifting the weight into the left foot. We'll take that same series on the other side. Right knee comes up, and we hold here. Core drawn in. That left foot is pressing into the floor. On your next exhale, slowly start to reach the right foot back, moving with control. Reach towards the back of the mat. Press the right toes down, left fingertips reach up, and we hold here in Crescent Lunge. Gotta take my sweater off. Getting warm. Keep holding here, pressing the feet into the floor, reaching up tall. And exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Left fingertips reach up. Holding here in your runner's lunge with a twist. And then if you'd like, you can either continue to hold here or we'll take that side plank again. So press the right hand into the floor, rotate through the back foot. Left foot slowly slides back and up as we land in side plank. And from wherever you're at, left hand comes down to the mat as we make our way back to plank. Again, from here we move to Dolphin, either dropping the knees or just lowering to the forearms. Hips lifting up. And the right heel reaches up towards the sky this time. Exhale, the right toe comes down. Rise back up to plank. Option to add that flow as we come to a low plank. Then inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. And hold here for a few deep breaths. On your next inhale, step to the top of the mat. Pausing in the forward fold again. Inhale up to mountain. Exhale, hands through heart center. And we'll take that same sequence again, moving just a little bit faster. So hands come down to the sides, weight comes into the right foot, left toes come up off the floor and we hold. And then exhale, left heel reaches back. Plant the toes on the floor, rise up to Crescent Lunge. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, right fingertips reach up. Holding in runner's lunge for a moment. And then your choice to stay here or to make your way into your side plank again. Press the hips up. Feel the left hand press down into the mat. Exhale, right hand comes down, and all together we meet in plank. From here, make your way to Dolphin however you'd like. Walk the toes in, and then inhale, the left heel comes up towards the sky. Foot comes back down. We all together rise up to plank. Option to flow as we lower to low plank. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. Step to the top of your mat. Exhale to take the forward fold. Inhale, rise up taller mountain. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. We open at the sides and straight away to the other leg. Right foot comes up. And we start to reach that foot towards the back of the mat. Landing in Crescent Lunge, holding here. Right hand comes down to the floor, left fingertips reaching up. Again, your choice to hold in runner's lunge or to move to side plank. Nice deep breaths wherever you're at. Left hand comes down to the mat. We pause and plank, and then make our way to Dolphin. Maybe walking the toes in, right heel reaches up. Exhale, the foot comes down, make your way back up to plank, your choice to hold or to flow. And we'll meet together in downward facing dog. Holding here for a few more deep breaths. Use your breath to connect you, to re-energize you, to recenter you. On an inhale, step to the top of your mat, finding your forward fold. Pausing here. Inhale, rise up to mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we're going to take that series one more time, this time moving with the breath. Trust yourself, you know the sequence now, just let your body flow. Focus on keeping your core engaged to support your spine. And really be aware of whatever part of your body is connected with the floor, of pressing down through the mat while lifting up. So exhale, hands come down to the side. Inhale, left knee up. Exhale, the right foot steps back. Inhale, rise up to Crescent Lunge. Exhale, left hand down, right fingertips reach. Your choice to hold here or to make your way to a side plank. One breath here, in. Exhale, the hand comes down to the mat. We meet together in plank. And then exhale, elbows come down. We make our way to Dolphin. Hips lift up. Inhale, the left heel reaches up tall. Exhale, the toe comes back down. Make your way back to plank. Your choice to hold or to flow as we lower. Chest lifts. Hips come up and back. One breath in down dog. Step to the top of your mat. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rise up to mountain. Last time, exhale, hands down through heart center. Open to the side. Inhale, the right knee comes up. Exhale, reach the foot back, landing in crescent lunge. Inhale, the fingertips lift up overhead. Exhale, the right hand comes down to the mat as we take our twist. Your choice to hold or to move to side plank. One breath here. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat. All together we meet in plank. And then slowly move to dolphin. Elbows on the mat, toes walk in. Inhale, the right heel reaches up. Exhale, right heel comes down. Coming up to plank. Last time, your choice to hold or to flow. As we lower, inhale to up dog. Exhale, hips up and back to down dog. And then all together, we'll bend the knees. Sit the hips back over the heels. Walk the fingertips out and find a nice, comfortable child's pose. Focus on taking nice, deep breaths, helping your body and your mind slow down. And start to come back to the concepts of that verse, talking about being rooted in your faith so that in turn you can abound with thanksgiving. And most of the time when I thought of this concept of being rooted, I've always viewed it in terms of my faith and how I needed to be rooted in my faith. But lately I've really started to be aware of how important it is to be rooted in everything that we value. Because if we're not intentional about pursuing and creating deep connections, it doesn't just happen. God might find you and your faith might just come out of nowhere. But to really be rooted in that faith, it has to be a choice. And sure, you might have just easily made a new friend at your local coffee shop or at school or at work or whatever it is. But if that's something that you really want to invest in, then that relationship needs roots. It needs something to stand on. It needs something to hold it strong when it's not easy. And so as you're laying here, I want you to just press your palms into the floor so that your forearms and your biceps come up off the ground. So the chest is still down in child's pose, but we're just pressing the palms into the floor. And then hold here for a few more breaths. And with every breath, I want you to think about something that you need to root yourself in. Letting your fingers press into the mat as an example of you making the decision to sink your roots in to your faith, to your family, to yourself, to your health, to your job. Whatever it is that you feel God calling you to start taking seriously and to start investing in, make this moment one where you sink your roots down into that. Again, breathing deeply. Take one last long exhale here. And then go ahead and slowly start to walk the fingertips in. Tuck the toes, and then just go ahead and sit the weight back on the heels, walking the hands with you. We're coming to a toe balance. So feel your feet pressing into the ground, chest lifting up, ribs engaged, and maybe the hands come up as well as we hold here. Nice deep breaths. Again, changing our point of contact with the floor from focusing on our hands to now focusing on our toes. And exhale, let the hands come down to the mat. Slowly sit your weight back. Maybe slide towards the top of your mat. And then from here, just go ahead and slowly roll down to your back. Draw your knees into your chest and take a few small circles. Focus on lengthening your breath. Make sure to go both directions with your knees. And then draw the right knee in towards the chest, left leg reaches out long. And take that right leg across the body. Nice stretch holding here. And so as we hold here, I just want to make the distinction to clarify that just because we talk about sinking our roots into many things, it doesn't mean that those are the things that give us structure and stability, because only God can really do that. And so if we have many roots that are connected to many different areas of life, then we have to imagine that God is more than just the roots, that He is also the trunk of that tree and the thing that gives it support and the ability to grow. Because yes, we should draw nourishment from our job and from our friends and our family and from our favorite activities and the things that we do. We should have many areas of life where we can be refueled and where we can get nourishment. But ultimately, it all has to be wrapped up in God. It has to come back to that. Go ahead and switch sides. Left leg comes in and we draw it across the body. Fingertips reaching out. And so I just say that to clarify that just because we've committed to different things or we're investing in things that are important, it doesn't mean that that's what's going to fulfill us. Because ultimately we still have to come back to the true source of all of our life and our energy and our joy. We have to come back to God and to our relationship with Him and to recognizing that that is the most important thing. And so as we tie all of this back into gratitude, I mostly just bring it up because I think that the more that we're aware of the things in our life that are important to us, and the more we choose to commit to them, the more that that breeds gratitude. Go ahead and release out of this. Draw the knees back into the chest, holding here for a few more deep breaths. And just go ahead and settle into your final relaxation whenever you feel ready. The other day I was taking a few minutes in the morning to just sit and be quiet. And I was looking around at my sweet little home, and this to me is really the first place that has felt like home since I moved out of my parents' house, because I've always been moving around and been on the go. And so I love this house, and as I was sitting here looking around, I just became really, really overwhelmed with gratitude that I've been given this beautiful space. And if you knew the story of how we found this place, you would understand that it was absolutely God, that there is no reason we should be living here other than that. And so recognizing that this beautiful gift, this thing that I treasure so much, was literally given to me by God, makes me not only grateful for the gift, but also for the one who gave it to me. And so that's why it's important for us to be mindful of the connections that are all around us. Because if we're really investing in our relationships, then we start to breed gratitude for that. And when we're grateful for things, we want to take care of them. And then ultimately it brings us back to wanting to praise God for giving it to us in the first place. And so hopefully all of this is making sense to you. But as you lay here, just take a moment to thank God for everything that He's given you. All of these valuable things that give you nourishment and that give you joy, they all come from Him. And so it might seem like these different side pockets, but much like the roots of a tree, they're all so related. And they all pour in to building this beautiful tree that can grow tall and strong and that can create fruit and can create shade and can create life. And so just thank God for the way that He's working in your life and the things that He's using to do that. Guys, I am thankful that you are here. I'm thankful for yoga and for the way that it has connected me to you and that it's connecting all of us to God. And so I hope that you have enjoyed this practice, and I hope that you take a few moments to just sit here in your final relaxation and to just think about all the things that you're grateful for, and then to praise God for giving them to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to our final class tomorrow.